You're about to get into a Dallas Cowboys mailbag. The only way to be on the show, you got to subscribe. That way you don't miss out on any of our live videos where we have our mailbags filmed during. So if you want to be a part of the Dallas Cowboys Report, hit that big red button and subscribe today. From Duke Bothers, has Gallimore earned more playing time? Also, Blake Bell now has a 100% success rate on 3rd and 1 conversions. That was a fun play call. I liked it. For Gallimore, yes. There's been, it seems like, a splash play every single game. I think you're starting to see a little bit more consistency, too. Gallimore will need some more time. I think he's a good project for Jim Thompson to help develop and all of that. With the way this current defensive line group is, yeah, you got to keep starting him. Next year, I just want to see how things look in terms of the Cowboys' defensive options. From Reflex Z, has Donovan Wilson played better than Jamal Adams? Wilson's been a very bright surprise, and it's been awesome, and both of these guys are honestly not great in coverage, but no, he's not better than Jamal Adams. I'm sorry. From Beast Fourth, Tom Downey as OC. First off, I want owner. I will not settle for anything less. Also, you don't want me as OC. I'm just not smart enough. I'm flattered, of course. I know you're not being serious, but I'm not smart enough. All right, Henry, if the Cowboys miss out on Farley and Jourdan, who should they take? A different corner, different position? Depends on who's there, right? Like if J.C. Horn is there and you're picking, like, let's say 15th, maybe. Maybe there's a defensive lineman there you want. Maybe there's a linebacker. Maybe you trade down. It's really difficult to say in, early January when we don't know who's going pro. We don't know what happened at the combine. So it's a little early. I'll have a lengthy list for you guys, but sometimes weird stuff happens. Maybe one of those two guys is there. Maybe they're not. From Nelson, do you think we trade one of our receivers if we sign Dak, or can we keep all of them and sign Gallup as well? If you want, you can pay Dak and pay Gallup. It is possible, especially with a likely major cap jump coming down the road. You don't have to, but you can do it. I think in terms of the most plausible outcome, and they all are at some level plausible, just different percentages there. What I think probably makes the most sense here in the end is maybe you just let Gallup play out his contract and then decide. Worst case, you get a nice 3rd or 4th round pick for him. Best case, you keep him, and you got 3 great receivers. But for that number 3 receiver role, those guys are easier, not easy, easier to find a quality replacement for. All right, Joseph Anderson, hashtag Cowboys. Cowboys re-signed Aldon Smith. It's a good question. I'm down to do it. But I think that the narrative has changed as the play of Aldon Smith has changed. And I'm going to say this. I think he has a very good showing against the bad New York Giants offensive line. But, and part of this, I think there was a bit of an injury for Aldon. It kind of slowed him a little bit. Aldon Smith was on fire the first 5 games. I mean, 4 sacks. His pressure rate up there, it's just 17% is insane. Like that is, frankly, unsustainable. He was not going to keep that up over the rest of the season. The problem is, over the past 10 games, he's been about half as effective. Just the 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. He's played double the games and has almost half the production. His pressure rate has dropped significantly. Now, again, part of that is DeMarcus Lawrence started to play better, so he got more pressures. And Randy Gregory started to play better, too. So I'm still down to bring back Aldon Smith. But he didn't become the 10-sack guy. And, again, part of that is you got other pass rushers. You haven't been in a position where you can blitz all that often because you've been down in a lot of games. Hasn't been a good year. This is not a good team for pass rushers to put up big production because the secondary has been not that great. A lot of contributing factors. So I'm down to re-sign Aldon Smith, but he shouldn't be very expensive because his play has dipped statistically over the back half of the season. Remy Gordon, will you remember me if I say our Cowboys not only make the playoffs, but will beat Brady in the playoffs? I will remember, Remy, because if the Cowboys get in, I'm not sure they're going to because I think Washington might win Week 17. If they play Tampa, I'm going to be right there with you. I think the NFC East winner is going to somehow win a playoff game. So I am totally on board with you, Remy, and I'll make sure to remember that as well. Dwayne Jackson, which Cowboys players, if any at all, might get traded on draft night? Ooh, good question. If something weird happens where, like, the Cowboys go receiver early, I think that might lead to a Michael Gallup move. But frankly, I don't think that there are a lot of obvious trade candidates that you would want to move that would get you a lot back. I don't think that there are a lot of, oh, yeah, this trade chip's worth so much that you're like, yeah, we should shop him. Like, you could get something good back for Gallup or for Tyron Smith, but do you want to move those guys? Not really. If you're trading somebody, it's probably a lesser back end of the roster guy, and at that point, you're not going to get much back in a trade. I mean, shoot. Remember what Ryan Switzer got you? Yeah, not a whole lot. I got a deal for you guys, by the way. Head over to chatsports.com/CowboysMask. That's chatsports.com/CowboysMask. These masks are crazy on sale. 75% off. You can get a 2-pack for like $5. A 3-pack for $6.50. Like, it's an unreal deal, and I don't know how much longer they'll be on sale for. So check the comments. The description as well has it. Chatsports.com/CowboysMask. It'll take you to all of the masks available, and then you can pick what type of variety pack you want, what type of style you want, and you'll find plenty of options available at chatsports.com/CowboysMask. All right, Zach Taylor. Would it be best to trade our first for a top NFL DT or corner since it looks like a weak defensive draft class? It's a good idea in theory, but who are you going to get for, let's just say, pick 12. Let's say you're picking there, or pick 15, whatever it is, for a mid-first round pick. You're not going to get Quinnen Williams for it. You could maybe get an older guy like a Stephon Gilmore, but then you got to pay him too. So you should explore it. But with the way the NFL values draft picks and players, I'm not sure there's going to be an ideal match. I don't think that's the best path for the Cowboys, but absolutely explore it. If you find a young one, yeah, I'm going to have interest. All right, Joey, you know how you say Sean Lee is DC? How about his head coach? That's too much of a jump. Now, I'm on board with Sean Lee as linebackers coach day one. I am fine with DC. I can't go head coach yet. That's just a little bit too much of a jump. This is not the NBA. I think that's just too early for Sean. But down the road, very possible. Kyle Clement, Shaun Wade to Dallas. Not with where they'll be picking in round one. I liked Shaun Wade a lot entering this season. I was excited to see how he moved to outside corner. And although there is still a game or two left for him to adjust that, he hadn't been very good. And that's troubling. So I like the Ohio State corner. If he's there in round two, sign him. If you trade down back into round one, I'm open to it, but not top 15. He hasn't been that guy this year, unfortunately. From Alex, which rookie has shown the most potential except for CeeDee Lamb? Ben DiNucci. I'm kidding. I think it's pretty clearly Trevon Diggs. It's Lamb, Diggs, Biotish, and probably Neville Gallimore in there. Rest of the guys haven't shown a ton so far. So I think it's very clearly CeeDee Lamb in the end at that point. Now, who is the MVP this year for the Dallas Cowboys? Very curious how you guys end up voting on this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And you know what? I'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, I want you to scroll on down and get your votes. And who is the MVP for Dallas? From sample email, okay? Richard Sherman, 1-year deal in free agency to fix corner or move him to safety. I don't hate it. It depends on the cost. I am unconvinced that Sherman fixes corner. He helps, absolutely. You still need a younger option. I think at some point he makes the move to safety, so I wouldn't mind it, but I do think you'd have to go prove it. I'm on board, but I think you still have to find hope in the draft, if that makes sense. Evan, is Desmond King a free agent this year? If he is, I say go get him. So I like what Desmond King, for the most part, has done in his NFL career. And I was surprised he went for so little as part of a trade to the Tennessee Titans. The problem is that even after his trade to Tennessee, he hasn't been that great. And I think King is at his best as a nickel corner. And I got those guys already if I'm Dallas. So, 1 year cheap prove-it deal? Hell yeah, I'm always on board for those guys. But I'm not paying him a bunch of Logan Ryan type money to come be a nickel safety corner. I don't think that's the best path. All right, Ryan Marquez. Should we do a free Jourdan Lewis 2.0 for safety? Great question, man. I at least want to see it. And the problem here is that you're making a decision not just for a game, but beyond that too. So I want to see him at safety. I say free Jourdan, but also I can't be paying him a lot of money with such an uncertain future for him. So for this upcoming Week 17 game, hell yeah, sign me up. Next year, we'll see how much he costs. From Tyron Warner, is this about to be a Jason Garrett revenge game? Yes, the revenge game from Garrett. It would be a revenge game in the sense that he has a good offense, like the second time all season. The last time the Cowboys played the Giants played their best offensive showing of the year. 34 points, 300 yards, 1 turnover. They played pretty well, right? Here's the problem, is that outside of that game, the Giants offense has been shit. And I know there are some media guys out there who are like, oh, look how good the Giants are doing. It's not because of the offense. They're bad. This is a bad unit. This is an uncreative unit. It's the same problems we saw with Garrett as the Cowboys, as head coach. Doesn't like change, outdated scheme, thinks they can just beat you by running the same plays. It doesn't work. He didn't adjust anywhere near as much as I thought he might. This is a bad team. Their defensive DVOA rank, near the bottom. They're bad. 26th on offense. It factors in who you've played. It's a bad offense. So this should not be a Jason Garrett revenge game. Frankly, if they win, it's probably because the defense regressed and there were not enough turnovers for the Cowboys, and because the Giants' defense played really well. The offense is bad. It's not the reason they're alive. In fact, the Giants have won games in spite of their offense. So it's not really a Jason Garrett revenge game as far as I'm concerned. Now, speaking of this game, I want you guys to predict the score for me. Get your votes in here. Cowboys against the Giants. Who do you think will win? What'll be the final score? We, of course, will be live for this game doing one of our fun watch parties, so get your votes in right now. Brandon Snow, would you take defensive end Jaelan Phillips from Miami in the draft? Yes, with 2 caveats. Number 1, I think most importantly, I got to see the medicals because he had issues at UCLA, was great this year. I like the talent. I got to see the medicals. And number 2, where am I drafting? Did I re-sign Aldon Smith? If I re-signed Aldon, I can't take him early. If I didn't, can I get him in round 2? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not, but I'll at least explore it then. All right, Alan coming in here, and also shout out Dominic for the $1 super chat. With Lamb looking good in his rookie year, what will Lamb's contract look like after his rookie deal is up? Shit, man, that's 4 years from now. The cap might double by then. So, a lot? I mean, if he plays the way the way I think he will play, I don't know, $30 million with the way the cap's going to rise? I don't know. That's so far down the road, it's kind of impossible to project. But it'll be expensive, which is good because it means he's a good player. Beast Fourth, who is the most underrated player on the Cowboys? Ooh, good question. I think the most disrespected is Connor Williams, who continues to be an outright good offensive lineman, but some of you guys don't like him, period. I think C.J. Goodwin, who I know got some shout-outs during our mailbags today, he's played pretty well. Maybe LP, the long snapper, because he never makes mistakes. Not Chris Jones. How about that? All right, Remy Gordon. You think Gerald McCoy will heal up enough to be dangerous? If so, could we get him back next year? I don't know. I am down to bring him back, but it has to be on a cheap one-year deal. This is a older player coming off a quad injury. He might not be the same. I'm fine to re-sign him, but I can't assume he's going to be the same guy he was in his prime. And if you do bring him back, you still got to find extra help in that. So I'm down to re-sign McCoy, but I'm not going to assume he's going to be the savior for the Cowboys' defensive line woes on the interior.